threefold is a symptom of a much dire economic conditions and political landscape. Today in Iran, after 4 decades of unbridled mass corruption, profiteering, nepotism, and looting of country's vast financial resources, including oil and gas exports by highest officials of Islamic Republic and its paramilitary terrorist force, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, the country is in the midst of a general economic collapse. At a point in time when billions of dollars and vast fortunes are being pocketed by Islamic regime's officials in secret foreign bank accounts or used for expansion of terror networks and various terrorist proxy groups, including Islamist Jihad, Hamas, and Lebanese Hezbollah across the region. Islamic Republic continues to spend billions of dollars on its advanced nuclear weapons program and ballistic missile technology, while national economy is reaching the threshold of total collapse. Inflation rate in Iran is among the highest in the world and is running at 50% or more according to most Western sources. Iranian currency, rial, has seen a 60% drop in its value in the past 12 months alone. Food prices have more than doubled in the past 2 years and are on alarming and steady rise in Iran. Price of many other essential staples of life has become impossible for most average income earners to attain. On political front, Islamic Republic in Iran continues to be one of the worst oppressive regimes in the world and leads the world in execution per capita on a regular basis. Any public display of opposition or social and political discourse is severely punished by regime's notorious security apparatus. Today in Iran, we are witnessing an explosion of anger in response to 40 years of Islamic Republic's oppressive rule by ordinary people in the streets who seek a free and prosperous life for themselves and the Iranian nation as a whole. Let there be no mistake. Let there be no illusions. Islamic Republic in Iran is the main cause and solely responsible for current sanctions imposed on the country, for its relentless pursuit of nuclear weapon technology program, its expanding ballistic missile threat, international terrorism, and various other nefarious and malign activities across the Middle East and beyond. According to U.S. State Department, under both Republican and Democratic presidents, Islamic Republic of Iran continues to be the leading sponsor of state terrorism in the world. This week, in the height of popular protests that have swept the country, Islamic regime authorities, in an unprecedented move, even by Islamic Republic standards, completely shut down internet access throughout the country to keep the news and social media from reaching millions of Iranians. This feeble attempt was meant to curb and contain the growing size of the demonstrations, also ensuring the news of the brutal crackdown that followed would not easily broadcast and spread on social media platforms by social activists. There has been a massive number of casualties and arrests made by Islamic Republic notorious security apparatus in absolute internet and news blackout. Islamic Republic security forces were ordered to crush the growing protests at any cost and were directed at using live ammunition against defenseless civilians, which have resulted in hundreds of deaths and thousands being seriously injured across the country. According to human rights groups and news outlets outside of Iran, Islamic government in most cases have refused to hand over victim bodies to their families, fearing it might reveal the real number of killed in recent days. Dear friends, as history proves time and again, no government or regime could sustain its hold on power without the support and will of its people, and by sheer violence and savagery forever. Recent mass protests across Iran indicates and bears witness to the fact that the Islamic Republic in Iran is one of the most hated regimes among its own citizens in modern history. This latest wave of mass protests and display of rage against the totality of the Islamic regime and all of its so-called moderate and fundamentalist factions, including the dubious reformist President Rouhani, who took office with empty promises of economic and social reforms, make it abundantly clear that the Iranian nation as a whole is demanding real change and is seeking to end this tyrannical and murderous regime once and for all in Iran. On behalf of Iranian American community in Atlanta, we would like to convey our heartfelt condolences and sympathy to families and relatives of those who have lost their lives or were injured last week in the latest brutal crackdown in the hands of the Islamic regime at home. Today we ask the international community and freedom-loving nations and individuals to stand in solidarity with the Iranian people for justice, freedom and democracy in Iran. We ask every nation to hold the Islamic Republic regime accountable for latest and some of the most egregious human rights violations against defenseless civilians in Iran. At the end, we would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for attending this gathering in support of the ongoing struggle of Iranian people for freedom, democracy and human rights. There is no doubt in our mind the day will come when the Iranian people would overcome the obstacles to remove this savage and murderous regime from their nation. Rest assured, there is a better and brighter future that awaits the great nation and great people of Iran. No to Islamic Republic, no to murder, yes to democracy, yes to freedom. Thank you.